man, there's a lot of managers out there these days, Scott. But man, there's not as many leaders as there used to be. And I think that that's a tough deal, because when we get to a point in our careers where we're managing results and not leading people, then we're heading down the wrong track.
I'm worried about what can I do today to be impactful and make sure that my employees know that they're appreciated and that we're going to just move in a positive direction all the time.
And it starts with the guy at the top. It starts with the guy whose name is on the side of the building.
So the people that are in front of our customers, right, the better they feel about not only what they're selling, but where they are. I think that carries over to people.
And it requires effort. It requires engagement, true engagement on the part of the leadership in an organization.
It starts with what's between your ears and how you believe. And I mean, you live this.
And it's a way to check me, accountability for me. Am I doing the right thing? Are they getting what I'm preaching? And
it doesn't matter what your goals are if your team doesn't buy in.
You got it.
Yeah.
So attracting new people, but why should they come? Why should they work the long hours? Why should they grind and grind? And really the answer has to be because we're going to make the experience great for them. Because if you have satisfied employees, you're going to have satisfied customers.
If you can create the opportunity, you can attract great people. You have the ability to create the opportunity that people need. Yes. Like, you as the business owner, it's your job to do that. So if you are failing to create an opportunity that's sexy enough, that's exciting enough, that's lucrative enough to attract great people, that ain't nobody's fault but yourself.
That's correct.
And that goes not just to how much money they can make, but how do they feel when you walk through the front door?
That's right.
How does the energy in the space feel? Like, how often do you come by and say what's up to people? How's it going? How's the family? What's new? Like, you know, are you still having that, like, you have to create that environment where people are like, man, I actually want to come. That's right. and work for you.
Well, for me, being at the top of the organizations, I've always said, find your leaders at every level, because they're not all on the top of the org chart. Yeah. So you got to find, who do people go, you know, not everybody in our department wants to be an athletic director. Yeah. I know that right away. Even in my direct reports.
But it certainly makes it a lot easier, I would assume, when you, like you just said, people that are scattered throughout the org chart,
you got to
that
find
are
them.
Leaders.
Because you know that some
or you got to be everywhere.
Yeah, but exactly. So as I always say, you know, like, once you find them, then you got to leverage them and you got to bring them in, and they become your apostles. Yeah. So they're the ones who are out there spreading the good word and developing your culture with you, and they got to be culture animals just like you. So that's where, when we get in and have big meetings or we're talking about change, we go to those leaders and make sure they're out there fostering goodwill and educating others.
And you start to see leaders emerge from within your team that don't have the title of manager, then you know you've gotten something going on the sustainable culture side of things. And that's why I think it's critically important to bring in people. We don't want the Stepford salespeople. I'm not looking for robots, but what I am looking for are people that align with what's important to us organizationally in our culture. And when you start to see that happen, that becomes scalable and duplicatable, not just constantly, repeating the same steps over and over and over again, looking for a different result, which is the definition of insanity, right? Which is what we see on a regular basis.
You want to build a great team. You want to have great salespeople. You want to have great customer service people. It all comes down to training. Yeah. To the degree that you train your people, you'll have an excellent team. And that. You can't get away from that. There's no shortcut to it.
I'm gonna lay it on you in one line right now. The mother of retention is repetition. And I see too often where training and development gets pushed to the side when something more urgent and important presents itself. Making that commitment to every single day, having someone in front of your people, working on them and with them so that you can develop them over a period of time, you get a little bit better each and every day by doing that. But you got to make that commitment.
Yeah, but the key to what you were saying is, all right, you're starting from the right spot. You've got the right person, yeah. But you haven't, from what you talked about earlier, and I want the audience to understand this, is that you don't stop there. You've taken the development of these people to a different level.
Without a doubt.
Prepare people. You know, there are ways to develop learning tracks within your organization. It's personal and professional development. Getting people that are open to it, And then B, just like yourself, committed to becoming better and understanding that it's not just about knowing your product, it's knowing people, it's knowing how to connect with people, it's knowing how to identify and listen to what it is that's driven them in there in the first place.
We have to get extremely serious in our approach to get the best out of people and stop managing them. Because when you get the best out of them, you're going to have to manage them a lot less.
You know, we were just taught to grind. And that'll take you so far. But eventually, unless you're really multiplying and having more people that are going to be able to work like you did and understand what it took to even to get to these levels, you're going to hit a certain point that you're not going to pass. And unless you really care about bettering themselves, then it's a selfish thing, and that's really only going to take you so far. So once I think that you can develop these relationships with the people that work for you or the customers and know that you're sincere to help them reach their goals and show them the path to do it through your organization, you know, I don't think that you're really going to get to another level.
I think the same thing, you know, it has to start with me. I got to walk that walk. And I've always been one to make fun of myself and in any of the roles, but I do take it, I'm very serious about analytics and studying and using technology and all that to help make decisions. But it's always been one where I've been incredibly transparent, and that's happening here. We share the budget with anybody. Obviously, to the degree we'll share, we have budget workshops. Any employee wants to come, they can come.
Wow. The same thing happens with employees. If you don't set the right expectation for people when they're coming into the organization, like open book. Like, hey, this is the top guy. You want to see his W-2?
Yeah.
You know, for the first 30 days, you're going to get your freaking teeth bashed in, and you're not going to sell anything, and you're going to want to quit every single day.
Yep.
But here's what can happen if you stick around. Here's this guy right here. He made $250 last year. This guy right here, he'll make $500 this year. This guy right here, he's our top guy. He's going to make $650 this year.
The most important thing that you do every single day, and that's hold yourself and your people accountable. And I start with the dealer principal and the GM and the management team is the way that they're holding themselves accountable is by holding other people accountable. You know, a lot of times I'll hear GMs, even dealer principals or managers complain about the fact that we can't get our salespeople to this, or F&I managers won't do that.
That's a common thing.
It is a common thing, and my response is really simple. It's a symptom of lazy management or weak management. And that's not to cast an aspersion or indict the management on a whole, but the fact of the matter is that if you care enough about your people and you really believe that they matter, you're going to hold them accountable, because by doing that, you in turn make them better at what they're doing, and they in turn now start to adopt that higher level accountability for themselves.
What most people appreciate is the honesty.
Yeah.
We're not selling somebody a dream that ain't real. And I think companies get in a position where they have to get really loose on the dream that they're selling to try to recruit people.
Yeah.
The truth is they should spend half as much time doing that and twice as much time trying to develop somebody internally so that they have the success story and they can go, look at Jarrod right there, he's doing it. Most important thing for you to have in your company if you want to recruit great people is you have to have people that are winning.
You know, when I see managers out there that tell me how much they care about their people but don't show that care and that level of commitment to their people and their actions, people see right through it.
I don't think it's an immediate shift by any means. I think it's just
You mean you can't just tell people I care?
No. I mean, I think you have to show them every day. I mean, they know that I'm fully vested into making this a better place to work, making it a better environment for them, better for the consumer. It's just a mind shift, and then it has to multiply, not just one person. It has to go out for many people.
My greatest asset is my people, and that has to be my focus.
He was a guy that you didn't want to let down because he cared and because he made personal connections with people. And as a leader, if you can do that, if you can get to the point where people, they're like, whatever they have this desire that they're like, I do not want to let this person down.
Right.
I know because I've felt that way before with leaders where I'm like, I don't want to let this person down. Like I feel like that way with Glandt. Like I never want to let him down. And that is sometimes a stronger driver than me wanting to win.
Yeah.
Is me not wanting to lose over here.
Right.
I don't want to let you down. And if you can do that as a leader, then you will create magnetism.
I had to tell people more and more what they were doing well. So you're not just sitting there working people and saying, hey, you know, why'd you doing this? Why? So I wasn't the guy sitting there telling my used car manager, listen, buddy, you didn't price so many cars that you should have, and you know you're out of market on these cars. I was the guy telling my used car manager, hey, listen, let's look at these 10 cars tomorrow at lunch. By the way, lunch is on me. I'm going to make you some ribs tonight for dinner.
Some of the greatest ideas that we've had that have worked are ones that don't come from me. Because coming from me, it's like it's forced upon, hey, we're going to do this. It takes a long time to sell a lot of different people and move a big machine a different direction.
Yeah.
So a lot of the ideas we've had have come from employees or outside of myself. And then when they're bought in, it's easy and like, that's a great idea. Let's go, you know, and holding people accountable to their own ideas is a lot easier than forcing my own ideas onto them.
Well, you don't have to sell them
Correct.
on the idea.
So you're committed to? Absolutely, me too. Let's go. Then that accountability it's a lot easier.
I'm probably strongest on this, and not everybody's built for this. Fearless to make the right decision. You got to be fearless to make the right decision, and I think that's where people struggle. Economics has a lot to do with it. People are protective. They get in these jobs and they make good money, and they're like, not sure I want to go down that path. I'll kick the can on that one.
I just think you need to embrace change. You just, you know, can't be content. You just have to, you got to want more for yourself, for your family, for your people that, you know, that follow you. You want to like provide better lives, and then you have to change. You can't do the things that, you know, we were taught. You have to keep somewhat of an open mind and just go with it. You know, solve the problems.
You can't control how quickly the market is going to adopt your product or your brand or your company or your service, but you can control how you show up every day and how you treat your people. Every single day you can do that.